Hey everybody, this is Diane. Welcome to my channel, Pretty Pink Cottage. I am back to work on these. These are going to be wire-bound journals. I have two more covers to make. I still haven't made them, but they will all be made with these vintage Butterick pattern covers. They are, this is a genuine item. These are not digitals. These were taken from 1950s Butterick patterns. So we're working on pages for them. Sorry. We had already done these pages. What I'm doing is, if you missed the previous videos, I'm using this old journal that I made as inspiration. So it makes it quick and easy for me to just grab the kind of pages. You know, it's still taking prep time, of course, but I'm not really thinking about what I need to do. I'm just recreating, kind of, but with new elements. So I have my pages pulled, and now I'm going through and adding elements, either the sewn or the glued elements, to these pages. Then I will go back and do the stamping, and then I will go back and add inserts, tucks, cards and tags and things tucked onto the pages, into the pockets. So I'm just doing them all at once. So I have 4 journals worth right here of the first few pages. So I've got some more pages prepped, and we're going to do some more work today. Yes, the other time I was at the sewing machine because there was a lot of sewing on those pages. These pages don't have so much sewing, and I already did what sewing there would be. So I'm over back at my regular workstation. The next page is an envelope. And I chose this envelope that my niece-in-law gave me. She's my nephew's wife. And it's got this really fun font on it. I thought it was kind of cute. I didn't even realize till I started prepping these things. Where are we? Oh, here. That I used that font paper to cover the flap on this envelope. I didn't pick this on purpose. I just was looking at envelopes and pulled these out. So yesterday I just laid the flap down onto a scrap piece of pattern paper and traced around it. I got them cut out, so all we have to do now is glue. And I didn't embellish the flap on the original journal, but I decided to just add a floral element for some extra fun. Today, as I'm making this video, it is New Year's Eve. I'll be getting my grandkids, the 2 younger ones, in a little bit, because their parents are occupied working and stuff. So I'll have them for a while. So I wanted to get this video done. I guess thought there was a piece hanging over, but I trimmed that really well. And I'm just going to add this. This is a fussy cut flower from Eclectic Eggplant. I have a lot of little fussy cut flowers in my binder, so I thought I would use some. I think this one's from Eclectic Eggplant on Etsy. Isn't that pretty? So that will just be bound into the book. And then there's space for writing here, and of course there will be some inserts tucked in there. This was actually from a magazine. And this one I do need to trim a little, but I will let the glue dry first, and I'm just going to add that magazine piece to it. So the pages in this journal that I'm replicating are pretty basic and simple. There's not a lot of elaborate decoration. So it's really fun, and it uses up a bunch of stuff from your stash. And I think it's just fun. It just makes for a fun and eclectic journal to grab things from your stash without a lot of pre-planning. I just looked in my scrap bucket to pull out papers to cut for the envelopes. You know, I use a discerning eye, but I don't worry about it too much. I like things to, as I always say in my videos, I want it to make my eyes happy or please my eye. And other than that, I don't, you know, fuss too much when I'm doing things like this, and it makes it really fun. I can't wait to get to the acetate page. I'm hoping we're going to get to that in this video, because that's really fun. There we go. It just really, really sparks up this envelope. And adding the flowers is the pièce de résistance. I think besides that one piece from the magazine, all these other flowers, I believe, are from Eclectic Eggplant. I could be wrong, but she has, if you go to Eclectic Eggplant on Etsy, she has a lot of fussy cut pages that have a lot of elements. It's very well worth your investment. And it's not much of an investment. She doesn't charge much, and there's a lot there in all of her different sets, and I have quite a few of her sets. So last night before I went to bed, I came in here and prepped these pieces for today's video. I'd rather have it hanging off the bottom of the flap than up at the top, so just bring that down. And it was just fun going through and finding pieces like that. And oh, I eventually got to where I was pulling pieces that I had stamped and had in my stash. I don't know how far we're going to get. I have a lot of pages prepped. And I don't need to do all 4 pages. I'm doing 4 journals, so I'm doing 4 of each type of page. I don't need to do all 4 like I did with the envelopes. I just want you to see what I'm doing. So this one, I went in and took some scraps and cut some more of these really fun shapes with my Big Shot. I've had these dies. I don't know the brand of the die. I don't have the packaging anymore. But I've had these for a long time. They're like some of the first dies that I ever bought. And I haven't been using them, and so I've rediscovered them because of looking through my old journal and remembering how much I love them. And again, I am adding just an embellishment to it, a couple of embellishments. So this is just something, this is Tim Holtz paper, I think, and this is just paper I punched, a scrap of paper that I punched with a scallop circle punch. And this is part of a digital ephemera kit. This is not Eclectic Eggplant. I don't remember where it came from, but it's fun and unique, right? It's directing you to a phone. You don't see that much anymore. And then this is a pocket, so I can tuck something in there. In fact, I'm really not preparing inserts on this stage, but I guess I forgot that, and I pulled a notepad, a list paper. So I'm not going to deal with that right now, but we know this is going to go in here, and it was sticky up here. it was stuck on a sticky pad. So I will definitely be adding that to a backing paper, cardstock or something, and that'll go in there. And on the back, all I did was glue down a couple of sticky note papers. So this one you can journal on. This one's just decorative. In the original, I'll show you what I had in my original book. This was a sticky note pad that had puzzle pieces on each page. This was all on one page, but each piece was sticky on its own. It's all separate. That's hard to explain. But I don't have those puzzle pieces anymore, so I just thought this was a fun one. I wanted something that wasn't, that had dark or color around the edge, so it would show up against the white. So this fit the bill, and it was small, because you still have all that white space to write on too. And just for an extra fun element, I just pulled this bird sticky note flag to add to it. You have to bear in mind when you're doing pages for a bind it all or a cinch journal that there will be holes punched along the edge, but it's okay. I don't mind if that gets punched. There's that page, and then I have prepped this. This is a digital also, and I thought that was a fun paper. I don't remember where that came from, but I love that paper pad, and I've had it for a long time. Same things on the back. This one is really fun. This is one of my favorite of all time paper pads from K & Company. I have very, very few little tiny pieces left, but I found one. So I put, this one's going to go in my journal because it's just my favorite paper pad, one of my favorites. That's just punched, and this was punched out of a children's book, and I thought they would be all be fun together. Let's do this one. I can't even remember what the name of this paper pad was from K & Company. It's got the rose there, but I'm still going to add an embellishment. These just happen to be on my desk. Some things that this got left out when I was looking for things, and this I just punched out of a scrap of, I had cut the image out from the other side of this page, and I didn't want to lose some of the other pieces that were, you know, on the flip side of the paper, so I just punched them. And that just makes a fun embellishment. And we'll have the same thing on the back. Here's another of the punched pieces from that same page. It's got the cow. So that'll be glued onto there. Oh, now we get to do the acetate. So I had some printed acetates. They came that way. And I wanted to make a page out of them. And I had added just some little strips of paper. And I think, I'm not sure how it evolved, because I made that journal years and years ago. So I added one or the other. I have lace on one side and then the strips of paper on the other, but I think I added one thing first and then wanted to cover up where it was either sewn or glued. I think I probably glued the lace on and then wanted to cover up on the other side, because you can see through it. It's acetate. So I added the strips of paper. So I'm just going to take this, I guess I had it this way. Yeah. This is lace from Hobby Lobby. And it might be the exact same lace design that I used in the original journal. Yeah, it is, except this one was cream color. So Hobby Lobby has had that lace for quite a while. So this is the page you will flip to as you turn the pages. This is the front, and then this is the back, and you'll be able to tuck things in there. And you saw that black and white that I just showed you, the acetate that was in the original book. I still had a piece of it. So I'm using that in one of the journals. And it's just really striking how the paper that I chose just really changed it, altered the look and feel of that acetate piece. I'll show you that in a minute. So this is the part that required sewing, the other side of the paper. So I did that just before I started the video. And I'll trim that off when it's dry. It's got glue on it. But that makes a fun page, and you can see the paper through the acetate. Here's this one. White stripes. I think I have 2 of that one. And I'm not going to glue the lace on right now. I'm just going to cut it while I have it here. And I will glue it later. But it will look like this. Oops. It will look like this. And then here is the black and white one. It looks elegant, but flip it over and look how fun it is. It'll be on that side. This is a striped paper, and this is actually a scrap of a digital. It has these 2 patterns on it. It's from Sweet Pea Curiosities, I think. No, it's not. It's from something else. I forgot. But anyway, it's just a scrap of a digital. And I just thought it just really made this fun. And it's a very simple to do page. Even with the sewing, I sewed this little piece onto this piece and then sewed it to the acetate. And even with that, it's, you know, a simple page, but effective. And then this one, I used a scrap from an atlas, and this punched piece was in my bag of strips. Let me show you. I have this page protector thing that I stick my strips of paper in it. And I pulled a lot of pages, a lot of strips out of this to get these journals going. I don't have all the pages prepped yet, so I still have more things to pull to add to my pages. Okay, next is this. What am I doing? Just going to see. Okay, so this is just, I have a drawer full of the list papers and sticky notes and stuff like that. I've got to organize it again after I'm done with these journals, because I've been pawing through it and pulling stuff out, and I really need to weed it out because it's much fuller than it should be. But these kinds of things. So I was doing a lot of rummaging in there last night as I was prepping these pages. So this is just a scrapbook paper, and I chose this paper to put on it. You can still see some of the fruit through there, and the peachy color is nice with that. So that's just going to be a journaling spot. Oh, I guess it goes that way. Well, it doesn't matter. They're both the same. I thought one was darker than the other. And I believe I got this piece and the hummingbird piece that I'm going to use on the other side, and a whole bunch of others at a flea market. It was just a big batch of stuff, papers and stuff. And they're not that old. Some of them are quite pretty. And I knew they would be useful for this sort of thing. I'm going to just decorate the edge of the paper with a couple of contrasting strips of paper. I think, do I want to make, no, I guess I want to leave it that width. I'm going to trim it. I'll trim this end off because it's folded a little bit. It'll be glued down though. I could punch these with a decorative edge punch, but I'm not going to. It's just something you could do if you wanted to. Just use scrap strips of paper. You can edge punch them to make them a little more elevated. Can't see the edge of my paper. And then this can be journaled on. It doesn't need a journaling card like the front. This makes it easier to journal on this decorative page. But I thought this was just a pretty element to add. Okay, so there's that page. I have the same color strips for the back, and this is going on the back, this floral piece. I'm going to go ahead and glue this one down. This is also a notepad paper. It's from Colorbach, but I think I may have gotten that in a Happy Mail. It's not a real thick pad. I don't have a whole lot of them, but there's another one too. I think Pansies. But I thought this bowl of daffodils was striking with the color paper that's underneath it, the patterned paper. Doesn't give you a lot of journaling space, but it does provide a lot of beauty. And you have a little journaling space right there. Might as well finish it up. not very close to the edge. It's good. This red polka dot has the same daffodil, this floral notepad sheet, and then these two strips of paper. And this is another fruit page, but it has a different color of that same paper that I used on the first one, along with these elements. So all of these papers that I'm using, except for the daffodils, came from that one bunch of, might have come from an estate sale. I just don't remember, but I know I got them all together. Well, next, this is very simple. It's just some coffee dyed lined paper. So I just pulled some of that from my stash. That I didn't do anything to it. And then next I had an art postcard. There's a Rembrandt card in there from the game Masterpiece. And I didn't do anything to that, but I pulled these cards from that box set of cards that my niece-in-law gave me. So we'll just include those, one of those in each journal. And then we have envelopes, coffee-dyed envelopes. I did have 3 coffee-dyed envelopes in my stash, and then I had this one. So I'll do one of the coffee dyed, and then we'll figure out what to do with the other one. I have some elements inside. I did some stamping on the envelope in the original journal. So that stamping will be a different step. We're not doing the stamping today. But I did decorate the flap with items. Well, I did pull this out to glue on here, and maybe I won't do any stamping. This is a stamped from the Tim Holtz Runway set of stamps. It's stamped and embossed in silver. So if I add that, I don't know if I'll do more stamping, but I probably will do something. But I figured these are already stamped elements that I have in my stash, so I can pull them and use them. And then I pulled some items. I probably won't use everything here on the flap. I just pulled them so we can figure out an arrangement. This is I think it's a lottery ticket from the 1970s, but I like the colors on it. And then I have this vintage ticket, this stamped word, and this stamped piece. I think 3 pieces is enough. Yeah, 1973 is the date on that lottery ticket. Daily Double. Aren't they fun? I got a cup full of them, like a tumbler, a short little, maybe a whiskey tumbler, I don't know, from it. Flea market guy. Sorry, I was looking at my son's text. And I didn't want the glass, but he didn't want it either, so he wanted me to take the glass with the tickets in it, so I did. In fact, I think it's this one. I use it for a pen holder now. And this was a roll of packing tape. and I stamped on it and cut that out. I think that's a Tim Holtz stamp. I don't know what set. This word here is a block of words that I stamped. It's from Stampin' Up, and then I just cut all the words out. So this will be in the book like this, bound in. There will be things tucked in there, and then you can flip it over. And she's sideways. I should have put her on here. Can't take her off now. Forgot the orientation. This one will have this girl and some other different elements. Oh, I didn't put these inside it because I had to glue. This was all apart and I had to glue it, and I didn't want those inside getting glued on. So those are the pieces. Let's take a look at the non-coffee dyed one. It's got a decorative element on the flap already. So let's figure out what we're going to do with this one. I think I was going to put her on the front, but I have her in there too. I'm just going to use this one. She's torn on one edge and not torn on that edge. So I think I'll just smooth her out so she looks a little more even. Oh, I did it again. I'll put her on this side because the holes will be punched over here. I'll probably have to glue something on here to cover up the glue. Okay, the flap, I have this. This is a Kathy Holden stamp. So I had these bits already stamped in my stash. Those are both Kathy Holden. And this is, again, Tim Holtz on packing tape. If you notice, I have here 2 rectangular shapes and 1 oval to kind of offset the rectangles. I like to have different, so this one has 2 rectangles and a circle. It helps with the, it helps make it eye appealing. I did go back yesterday after I did the first few pages on video, and then I went back and did the rest of the sewing, you know, because I'm going to have to go back and finish gluing the pages that I'm passing over. So I did that yesterday. I got caught up with the first pages. And what's next? Well, I have some line papers here and some sticker strips. I think these are K & Company too. Nope, my mind's eye. But I've had them for years. So let's see what I'm supposed to do with these. Because I forgot. Oh, yeah. So I just took a strip of paper in my original journal and just put it across the center. And these are blank on the back, so I could do that decorative element on the back. I like the brown. I'm not sure about the other colors because they're pale against the white and even against that. They do look good on the lined paper side though. Let's do that. I'll probably have to glue it, but these are scrapbook papers and they're designed to stick, not like washi tape. So I don't know if I'll have to glue it or not. But that looks fun like that, doesn't it? And then I did some stamping, so I'll do the stamping on the back side of these. Figured it was about time I used these sticky strips up. I've used some of them, obviously. And now all I have left is this one strip with the pretty roses on it. Maybe it'll end up in one of these journals, or maybe it'll go back in my stash. I could add another embellishment to these strips, so that's something to think about. Now I have a book page. It'll go in the book like this, with this wide margin. So I'm just going to put that on there, and it'll reinforce where I have to punch and put the wires in. I use this pretty strip of paper. And then I had a little butterfly that somebody sent me. I don't have that die. There's washi tape on this edge, but this paper was a little more fragile than this. I might use washi tape anyway, just because I have a lot of it. But I put this on as a tuck spot, but I don't have any more butterflies, so I just looked at what I do have. I have some nice dies that I could make a tuck spot with, but I wanted to use things I already have made, so I pulled this out, and I'm just going to add this digital piece to it. And it'll be a tuck spot. And each one of these is different. Oh, I just remembered. I pulled a stamped and colored Jane Davenport stamp image for one of these pages. So hang on for that. If you're getting bored, hope you're not getting bored. I'm not bored. I'm having a lot of fun just doing these simple decorative elements on these pages. And it's always fun for me to go get into my stash and pull things. So this is rounded And this is round, so I think I'm going to round the corners of this. It'll make it fit better. This is a digital. I could, maybe instead of gluing this down today, I could get some clock hands out. They're not really clock hands, I think they're game spinners that I have. I could attach with a brad. So I think I'll do that before I glue it down, and I'll put the brad so it's on this back and then glue it down, and that way the brad won't be in the way of tucking things in. So that would be fun. So I can glue this part down today. That yellow doesn't show up very much against that book page, so I'm just going to ink the edge. And then it'll be fun again to go back through and find things in my stash to use for tags and cards. Things to insert into all these pockets and tucks that I'm making. Oh, what about washi tape? Just pull this box down and use from this. It's got all my new Martha Stewart, or not Martha Stewart, Pioneer Woman washi tapes in there. Should have put that down before I put him down, so I'm gonna put it on this side. This is washi tape I think somebody gifted to me. Oh, I don't have much time left. Alright, I will add the washi tape to this, but I wanted to show you the, there's one I'm going to color and cut out, so I don't have time for that right now. This is the one that I had colored with, I don't even know what I colored it with, some kind of watercolor. I did it a long time ago, and I had to cut part of her hair off, because it was like, this is the stamp. But she is going to go on this edge, and she'll be a tuck spot or a pocket. And I only have one other page pulled and prepared, and that is another scrapbook paper and just a strip glued on. It could be a tuck spot. I think I'll glue it so that it is a little tuck spot, or a little side pocket. This one is another sticky strip from K & Company. I know that one's K & Company. And so I'll probably somehow make this deeper and then add that, because I think they look nice together. And it'll be a tiny little tuck spot. That's all I had prepped for today. So I did pretty good getting stuff done. And I've got a few more pages to prep. There will be a business envelope. Let's take a quick look before we go. So that's a junk mail envelope that I used. That'll be fun. It's got some more crimped paper on it. Scrapbook paper, flash card, digital, ledger paper, not digital, it's ledger paper. We have that double doily to do. And the folder. I can't wait to do that. More crimped paper. Such pretty fun scrapbook papers. That one with the little bags. Yep, so we've got more fun to do. I don't know if I'll do them on camera or just do them on my own. We'll just see how it goes. But I do appreciate you watching today. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you were crafting along with me, and I hope you're having a creative day today. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.